Do you know that the ultra-rich often avoid the designer labels we associate with wealth, like Gucci and Versace? Instead, it's the middle class that's driving the luxury market. So, what do the truly wealthy wear? And why do these perceptions persist? The perception versus reality of luxury fashion. Imagine a lineup of 3 bags. 2 are from Walmart, and 1 is a Louis Vuitton. You'd probably think the luxury item would stand out easily, right? But here's a twist. While one bag might clearly display the LV logo, what if I told you that one of the Walmart bags was actually a $30,000 Birkin in disguise? Mainstream fashion has conditioned us to think that a luxury item is immediately recognizable, often through branding and design that screams exclusivity. But true luxury, the kind embraced by the ultra-rich, tends to hide in plain sight. If you've ever seen the show Succession, you'll know that one of its characters famously wears a $625 cashmere hat, completely logo-free yet deeply expensive. This understated aesthetic has even sparked what's called quiet luxury, a trend where high price tags come with minimal branding, showcasing quality without any need for labels. The kind of luxury that most of us recognize is primarily what big brands want us to see. Movie stars flaunt brands like Gucci and Balenciaga, but in many cases it's just paid advertising. The truly wealthy, the ones not constantly in the public eye, embrace a minimalist wardrobe focused on craftsmanship quality and fit over logos and labels. Take Mark Zuckerberg as an example. You've probably seen him in his standard gray t-shirts, a basic wardrobe staple that seems entirely ordinary. But those plain t-shirts? They're custom-made, costing upwards of $400 each from the Italian designer Brunello Cucinelli. To the average observer, his clothes look like they could be from any department store, and yet they're top-tier quality crafted for maximum comfort and durability. Even when the ultra-rich wear recognizable luxury brands like Prada or Valentino, they often have access to exclusive designs that keep the branding discreet, allowing them to blend in rather than stand out. Status symbols. Why we wear luxury. At the heart of luxury isn't necessarily quality, but status. Humans, just like animals, use displays of value to assert status within social groups. Consider the peacock with its vibrant feathers, the penguin who collects pebbles to impress a mate. Each uses visual cues to demonstrate their value. For us, this can mean designer clothes or flashy cars. The psychology of status has become so ingrained that when you see a coworker in designer clothes, you might wonder, how did they afford that? The reality is that many middle-class individuals are going to great financial lengths to sustain an image, even if it means living beyond their means. In places with significant income inequality, people are more inclined to spend on luxury goods. It's a way to fit in and not feel left behind in a competitive social environment. Google search trends reveal that states in the US with higher income inequality also have higher searches for luxury brands, like Ralph Lauren, and items like fur vests. Contrary to popular belief, luxury items aren't predominantly purchased by the rich. In fact, the middle class keeps much of the luxury market afloat. Let's take a look at one segment of luxury fashion to illustrate this. Overpriced sneakers, like Air Jordans, have become highly popular among young men, particularly in lower-income neighborhoods. For many, these shoes represent a kind of social currency, something essential to own to fit in, even if the financial cost causes more stress. Critics may argue against spending above one's means for fashion, but they often overlook the social pressures that drive these choices. The demand for counterfeit goods. Another strong indicator of luxury's role as a status symbol is the market for counterfeit items. In places like New York's Canal Street or online platforms like China's AliExpress logo, covered fakes are readily available. The quality might not be great, but the demand remains high. The appeal of knockoffs highlights a universal desire to project a certain level of success, even if the real item is out of reach. The deeper, the income inequality. The more people feel pressured to create the illusion that they are prospering. Oddly enough, this desire for luxury wasn't deterred even during the COVID-19 pandemic. You'd think that with financial uncertainty, people would cut back on high-end spending. Yet luxury spending actually surged, particularly for established brands. Companies like LVMH, The conglomerate behind brands like Tiffany and Dior saw significant growth during the pandemic. CEO Bernard Arnault even became the world's richest person with a net worth surpassing $200 billion. A pandemic paradox: luxuries boom during financial uncertainty. What explains this luxury spending spree during a time of global crisis? Several factors might be at play. One theory is that people view luxury as a form of escapism, or as a marker of resilience and aspiration, especially when everything else feels uncertain. Additionally, governments worldwide distributed stimulus checks, some of which were used to buy luxury items as a reward or a pick-me-up during hard times. This period highlighted how deeply rooted luxury is as a cultural concept, with people feeling drawn to it, even when they arguably shouldn't be. Experts have also noticed a shift in how younger generations approach luxury. Studies from Bain & Company show that Gen Z consumers are buying luxury items some 3 to 5 years earlier than millennials did. With buy now, pay later options and resale sites like The Real Luxury has become more accessible even for those on tight budgets. Where luxury was once reserved for the rich, today's consumers view it as an attainable savings goal. But with younger generations joining the luxury market, these items start to lose their value as status symbols. Even pop culture reflects this shift. Take The Simpsons, a show that originally depicted a working-class family. They recently collaborated with Balenciaga, a high-end brand, an ironic nod to how luxury brands are now a part of everyday culture. Luxury's changing target market, from rich to middle class. Today's luxury brands are carefully threading the line between exclusivity and accessibility. To keep up the appearance of scarcity, some brands produce limited runs or even destroy excess inventory, creating a sense of demand and desirability. This strategy allows luxury items to maintain their high margins and sense of prestige. This pivot to target the middle class has reignited discussions about old money versus new money. Old money wealth, like the Walton family's fortune from Walmart, is often seen as quiet and understated. New money, meanwhile, refers to people who didn't grow up wealthy and often feel the need to display their newfound success. This divide, famously explored in The Great Gatsby, speaks to the distinct ways that different groups approach wealth and status. In recent years, social media and shows like Succession have sparked a fascination with the old money aesthetic. The characters wear luxury items without recognizable logos, with a preference for high quality over flashiness. Their wardrobes are so subtle that only those within the elite can recognize the value. In contrast, new money leans toward visible markers of wealth with high-profile logos and designs that are immediately identifiable. Quiet luxury versus flashy branding. When most people think of luxury, they picture clothing with the brand name plastered across the chest. Yet some high-end brands like Ralph Lauren and Gucci have developed secondary lines with less obvious branding but higher quality. It's similar to how tech subscriptions operate. You can use a basic version with ads or pay for a premium ad-free experience. A fashion subculture has even emerged to emulate the old money look on a budget, giving rise to brands like Zara and H&M, which capitalize on this understated style. While it's still a projection of status, it's far less expensive and less overt. This rise of accessible, quiet luxury gives people a way to appear fashionable without breaking the bank. It's important to note that not everyone buying flashy luxury items is trying to impress. Some genuinely love the design or feel a personal connection to the brand, which is perfectly valid. However, social media and advertising have done an impressive job of linking unique identities to luxury brands, offering a range of options for everyone to find something that suits their tastes. For many, a luxury purchase is about celebrating an achievement or treating themselves, and there's nothing inherently wrong with that. The issue, though, is when luxury becomes a tool to project status, especially during times of economic hardship. Homeownership, once an achievable goal for the middle class, feels increasingly out of reach, but spending on luxury continues to rise. Some may argue that this is due to shifting priorities, but it's possible that these luxury brands have become skilled at capitalizing on societal insecurities. Luxury's allure also reflects a deeper, often overlooked psychological need: the quest for acceptance. In a world that constantly reinforces the idea of having it all, luxury goods have become symbols of having made it, a shorthand for success in the social arena. For many, owning a Chanel bag or a Rolex watch signifies belonging to an exclusive club, even if the membership is only perceived. Luxury brands know this well, and their marketing isn't just about selling products. It's about selling a lifestyle, a sense of belonging that speaks to our basic human need for social validation. Ultimately, luxury isn't just a product, it's a narrative. And in a world of increasing digital transparency, the very definition of rich is evolving. Today, the truly affluent embrace their wealth quietly, finding satisfaction in the intrinsic value of experiences, art, and craftsmanship over outward displays. The final question: who are you really buying for? Luxury has shifted from being a hidden privilege of the wealthy to a widely accessible status symbol. As the concept of luxury becomes more embedded in our everyday lives, it's worth questioning how these items truly add value to us and whether they are worth the price we pay for ourselves and not for anyone else. So, the next time you feel the urge to splurge on a luxury item, ask yourself, do you really love it for its quality? Or is it about something more? Are you buying it to make yourself happy? Or is it to project an image to others? If you enjoyed this exploration of the hidden meanings behind luxury consumption, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell for more insights on fashion, culture, and the complexities of modern living.